Cliffhanger NES by Rudy J. Ferretti, perfect score, Twin Galaxies settings. I do die in this game on purpose in order to achieve the perfect score without cheating, of course. There's a certain stage where I actually die over and over again purposely. Of course, not died too many times. The hardest fucking thing in this game is probably the jumps. It took me a long time to get used to. If you're going for a perfect score, you want to stay away from the fireplaces. If you're going for points, then you can go for the fireplaces. The reason being, and you need the boots. The boots in order, especially even to get up those ropes. And those ropes are very tough sometimes to get on top on. But yeah, and you need them to run as well. So the jumps are the most difficult. You need to know just when to jump off the ledge without falling or not being able to jump far enough. This object of this game is to get all the money bags and all the items. It's the only way to score points. There is no other way. The game looks fairly simple, and to me it's fairly easy. To some it's pretty difficult. However, you want to avoid everything in sight. Me, I don't really care because it doesn't matter how many times I get hit. I'm going for points. I'm not going to survive here, you know? So, the most important thing though is you need to know how to get on the rope. You gotta jump just right. If you jump too far, you won't hit it. So it's kind of like weird, but again, the fireplaces will drain your money, so stay away from those at all costs, but it does refill your energy if you're going for speed run. So obviously if you're not going for points and you're going for a speed run, then you want to try to hit the fireplace as you're running. This here is like a miniature boss for the first stage. It's very random, can make or break your fucking run real easy. I've died here a couple of times getting hit by those big rocks right in the fucking head. Sometimes one shot will kill you. But I get very lucky here to get through this so damn easily. There's been times where I've done speed runs and I've fucking lost instantly here in the first stage. So this is the most important and most crucial area to get out of. There's a stage later in the game that's also pretty hard, like a mini boss as well. But this one was pretty difficult at times. But as you can see, I get through it pretty easily. Without the boots and without running, it wouldn't be really possible in my opinion. Never tried it without boots. I don't even think you could, because you can't run without boots, so you wouldn't be able to get past certain areas. So, we'll see what happens here. You do not have to kill enemies in order to beat this game, except for the bosses at the end of the stage, but the regular enemies are not necessary to kill unless you get into an area where you're trapped and you have to kill the enemy to get to the next stage, which that does happen in some cases. This little guy here that looks like Schneider from One Day at a Time, or Ross from You Can't Do That on Television. This guy's pretty tough here though with the gun. Matter of fact, he reminds me of Snake Eyes a little bit there. Yeah, so you need to run obviously to get up there. Again, avoid that fireplace. I'm so lucky I didn't hit that fireplace. When you hit this guy, you always want to be a couple of inches away from him in the differential in the iceberg area. This guy you have to kill in order to move to the next area, and he can easily punch the shit out of you and kill you. Sometimes these guys, as little and as weak they look, they can really fuck up your run real fast, because once you get drained too much energy, it's pretty hard to get to the next area. And this is a pretty big risk I take here. What I want to do is I want to run and jump across. I really didn't have to do that, but that's the way I did it. I could have went and did it the easier way, but I chose not to. So I get my money bag and all this other stuff. See, I could have went down, up and around. So here we go. Just for the record, I'm the first and only person to have a score on this game, and I'm also the first and only person to have a perfect score on this game in history. Known. So, we'll see what happens here. And I had somebody make a comment the other day to me, like, well, what does it matter that you were the first champion on a game? Well, there's a lot of games I was first the champion on, still are the champion today, regardless if it was a fucking shitty score or a cheesy score. The bottom line is if I'm number one, I'm number one. And that goes out especially to the person who made that comment. Friend or no friend, that was a stupid comment to make. So, yeah, the object of the game again, and remember, your runs, you gotta time your runs, because if you fucking run too fast and jump too hard, you could easily lose the game too. As you see, I'm pretty much taking my sweet-ass time to a certain extent, but you gotta know just when to run right. I remember losing a couple of times right there in those areas of these stages. Of course you want to try to avoid the snow. I honestly believe if you were to hit that snow while running and jumping, it would probably kill you. But I don't know. I did a speed run one time, and I'm sure I went through that. Remember, items and money is the only thing that give you points, and the super money bags, which there's 3 of them in here throughout the game. They're worth about $300,000 a piece. I like the game. I think the graphics are pretty good for its time. I don't know who Sylvester Stallone looks like. He reminds me of somebody. Oh yeah, he reminds me of Michael Douglas in the movie Falling Down. Oh man. This fucking boss coming up here is fairly difficult if you don't know what you're doing. What you want to do is you want to let him come towards you like he's just about to hit you. So if you time it right, you can do it without even taking a hit. You always want to stick with punches with this guy. Kicks can work, but I like punches better. So as soon as he gets towards you, you want to hit him just before he hits you. It's almost a perfect timing thing, because if he gets too close, he'll fuck you up. If he doesn't get close enough, he'll still fuck you up. So you need to hit him just the right spot. Now, this is a secret spot here where you can get the most points and die over and over again. This is what makes a perfect run so difficult on this game without cheating, because you only can die a certain amount of lives and you're only allowed to gain the extra life once. But there's 4 items in here that you can grab very fast and easy. So the object of the game is you grab the 1-up, you grab the items, you die all your guys except for 1, and then you try to beat the game on 1 fucking guy remaining. It's not so easy, my folks. As easy as people say, well, the game is easy, this is not that hard. Well, it may not be that hard, but when it comes down to it, it can be fucking hard when you're at the mercy of 1 life left and anything can happen. The only thing that really sucks about this, which I'm going to stop talking for a little while, because now you know what's going on, I have to get killed by these fucking dogs over and over and over again in order to get through this. So I'm going to let you guys enjoy and watch this for a little while, because it's the same thing over and over again for a little while, and I'll be back. Not to interrupt, but just to give you guys a heads up, fucking super money bags and regular money bags don't reappear, so the score cannot be done any higher, of course, without breaking the rules. Money bags and super money bags do not reappear in any stage, so this is the best stage in order to maximize your points before you go on to get the rest of the money and the rest of the super money bags. Obviously, if that was the case, I would have a 999,999 score, but that just is not possible doing it legally. Although I've never tried, and it would take fucking probably hours to do, considering there's only so many points in this game, even if you kill yourself over and over again, obviously, which you'll be seeing soon. To get another 40,000 points on top of what I had could take hours, because these fucking little items, some are worth 5 points, 10 points, whatever it is, I don't know, 20. Can you fucking imagine doing this all day, sitting in this room? Shit. Seems like it's fucking harder to kill yourself off than to die accidentally. 10 points apiece the items are worth. Excuse me. This particular level has no boss. This is your boss. Once you get out of this room, you're out of this stage completely. To move on to the next stage. As the game starts to progress, it gets a little bit more difficult. Certain items and certain weapons I don't want to keep right now. Although I should have kept that fucking gun. That was kind of stupid. But I'll get it back anyway. I think the music is pretty good too in this game, if you ask me. Kind of the same thing over and over again. The regular stage and the boss stage, pretty much all the same music, but I like it. Even though this game is the same pretty much as the Game Boy version, I think the Game Boy version is slightly more difficult. But the other one that I'm working on is the Lethal Weapon on the Game Boy, which is fucking extremely difficult, which is the same thing basically as Lethal Weapon for the NES, but it's a big difference in difficulty. Almost the same game, not quite, but very similar. But this game is the same exact game basically on the Game Boy, but it's just harder. A little bit more difficult for some reason. A lot of games on the Game Boy were always difficult. So like I said, that level was completed, no boss. This is where you're going to see your first Super Money briefcase. There it is, first suitcase. Worth a little bit over 300 grand. Not sure exactly the exact amount. Oh, there you go. 300 and something thousand dollars. Approximately. Gun comes in handy in this stage. Doesn't take much. It's too bad the characters aren't worth points. I think this is the only fucking game I've ever played that the people in the game weren't worth points. Do you know any game that's not? That, you know, it's like that. Kind of reminds me also a little bit of Rygar when you go up. I mean, of course, Rygar has no point system, but the thing I'm trying to say is a game with points. Have you ever had a fucking game where you kill a character where you don't get points? I don't think that exists besides this game. I have yet to encounter something like that. So, gets a little more interesting. I like the scenery as we go along, I really do. This is another boss right here. He reminds me of the fucking gay modeling association guy from the Cowboy Way. That's who that guy reminds me of. The rope sucker. Nothing against gay people, it was a joke. Rope sucker, because he called him a rope sucker in the movie, so I don't want anybody that's homosexual to get offended by what I said, okay? Because I have my best friend's homosexual, so I don't want to hear that. Anyways, what I was saying was, you got this one here. That was a pretty simple stage, but you could have died really easily. I really like this stage, though, not because of anything other than the scenery, though, because it can be difficult. The boss that's coming up here can be pretty drastic, and fucking fuck you up real easily. And you have to have him just at the right point to fight him. And you also gotta know what you're doing here, because you could also very easily fucking lose or not get certain items, and then your run is over. Your points run is over. Because there's no turning back at certain points. I was always hoping at least the bats would be worth something, but they're not. As you can see, I don't really care what I get hit by. I know I'm good enough that I can get through the game even with hardly any energy and beat the enemy each time if I have to. That's a hard jump that I had to take right there, but I had to get that otherwise, because without those gloves, it would be fucking difficult to do the next mini-boss that's coming up after this boss that's coming up, climbing a certain wall. There are gloves that appear at that fucking stage, but why not get them now, right? Get it over with and get it out of the way, so you don't have to worry about it later. Bottom line is this, you can't fucking run without boots, therefore you can't beat the game without the boots. And you can't beat the game without the fucking gloves. You won't be able to climb the wall. But the nice thing about it is you get the gloves here, you don't have to fucking worry about getting them again. Although, you want to get them again because you want the points. If they're available. I forget if they're available twice, I don't remember. I don't understand why there was no boss in that stage, don't ask me, I don't know, but he's coming up. I always wondered about that myself. This guy's tough. You need him to basically face backwards in this game. I believe in the Game Boy version it's even more difficult. It's a lot more difficult to kill this guy. But he has to be basically right in the middle. If you get him too far down or too far up, he'll fucking kill you. As a matter of fact, one time I remember when he killed me so easily. And you know what the weird thing is? The weapons don't even work on this motherfucker. The weapons did not even work on that motherfucker. He will not die. I shot him with guns and knives and executed him with fucking dynamite. It didn't do shit. Weird, huh? You would think the weapons would work. They don't work on the final boss either. Which is not far from now. This stage can be quite fucking tricky because it can be very easy to lose a life, fall off, slip. It's a little bit slippery, this stage. Of course, it doesn't look slippery to you guys here because you see me playing it and I make it look easy, but there actually is a slipperiness to it. Did I say that right? Slipperiness. Anyways, yeah. The gun, as you can see, though, comes in real handy in this stage, especially for these little fuckers. Don't need the dynamite, so you can turn that off. Although it worked for that guy, didn't it? Another super briefcase coming up. Actually, 2 more coming up soon. This is the hardest one right here. Right here could make or break your run. You hit that fireplace, you're done. You lose money. You just ruined your fucking run because you can't get the money back. But yeah, without that gun, forget it. That'd be history right now. So lucky I got out of that. Nice thing is though, your energy replenishes when you get out of each stage. This is like a mini boss right here. Usually there's gloves on that side, but since I got them, they're not available now. So, you know, I climb up. Again, one fucking rock can ruin your run. There's the super briefcase. Always make sure you get that, especially if you're going for a points run. You don't have to get it, of course, if you're going for speed. Obviously, common sense will fucking tell you that. But, yeah. So you climb the wall. It's basically like the first stage. I have lost in this stage. I have gotten killed. It doesn't take much. Now we're going to the final board here, final stage, whatever you want to call it. It's not difficult. The last boss that's coming up before the grand finale boss could be Quailin comes out in the helicopter. Very realistic to the movie version, except for it's not as graphic. But the helicopter looks pretty cool. This one you want to run and jump real carefully, get the money bag, avoid the fireplace. It's a short board, but anything could happen here, so you gotta be careful. It's not a fucking map, like other people would say, because it's not a goddamn modern game. Everybody calls things a map. I call it a border stage. Sounds better. You need the gun. You need the gun, because the boss is coming up is the helicopter. All you need to do is move out of the way and move with the helicopter. What I do is very stupid. I actually almost lose my life here. Or I do good on this one. I can't remember what I do, but I know that I get hurt a couple of times. But you want to just be right underneath it the whole time. Slow it down and shoot it. I think it takes about 10 shots, and then that's basically it. But it ain't over yet. See? And you want to be away from the helicopter, because it'll come down and fuck you up if you don't. And here's Quailin. You want to knock him off and go past him, because if you don't, he'll fuck you up. I've tried knocking him off other ledges, it don't work. He'll come back. You have to go all the way to the top in order to defeat him. So don't waste your fucking time. You can shoot him off, kick him off, punch him off. I like shooting him off. And the game is over. I'm Rudy J. Ferretti, video gaming world champion, mostly retro. This was a perfect score on Cliffhanger, TGTS settings, without cheating, 959,000, 5 points, grand total. The end. Could have beat the game without dying, but I didn't try. Hope you enjoyed it. For all you guys that say Cliffhanger sucks, I give it an A+. Thanks for watching, hit that subscribe button, and thanks for your support and spreading the word.